that a total of 24 people died and 41 others were injured, reportedly in Nyanza and Western regions alone since the anti-government protests began on 20th March this year. This is according to the preliminary report of investigations conducted by the Law Society of Kenya, Amnesty International and the Kenya Medical Association, which showed evidence of the use of excessive force by the police during the protests. LSK President Eric Theuri revealed that they plan to take action against the Inspector General of Police over the injustices meted against the protesters, even as they demand that this forms part of the discussions between Kenya Kwanza and Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition. Safin Achieng Ouma now reports.
The horrific sound of gunshots as heavily armed police officers combated protesters during the anti-government protests, with some opting to ruthlessly clobber anyone in sight. Ugly scenes that ignited a spark of rage among human rights defenders who have called out the police for using excessive force. According to the findings of a recent investigation conducted by the Law Society of Kenya, Amnesty International and the Kenya Medical Association in Nyanza and Western regions, a total of 24 deaths and 41 serious injuries were reported since the protests began on 20th of March this year. The team also found 16 survivors recovering in various hospitals and 11 bodies, with most deaths recorded in Nyalenda and Nyamasaria areas in Kisumu County.
Majority of the victims were between the ages of 17 and 38 and overwhelmingly male. The cause of death so far has been attributed to the use of live and rubber bullets fired at a close range. Some of the victims were picked from their homes.
Preliminary investigations have shown evidence of gross human rights violations and misconduct by the police.
Most of the bullet wounds had ventral exit, to mean that they exited the body from the front, shot from the back, leading doctors to conclude that most victims were running away or had surrendered at the time of the shooting.
Several people, both protesters and bystanders, were targeted for violence by the police in their homes. Some were assaulted and some were killed.
They are now demanding that the planned dialogue between Kenya Kwanza and Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition to focus on these excesses by the police and actions that hold those in police command responsible.
We are ready and prepared to even go to court so that those discussions, if they are going on, we include that as a mandatory order from the court. Secondly, we will also be taking action against the IG.
The warning comes even as a group called Operation Linda Nchi moved to court to challenge the clerk of the National Assembly's refusal to admit a petition for the removal of the Inspector General of Police as a member of the National Police Service Commission for failing to tame the incidents of police brutality during the protests.
The Inspector General has not issued any single statement on the police conduct. They said the operation was very successful, meaning the success here means that they suppressed it, but through killing people, destruction of people's property and livelihood.
The petitioners state that the reasons given to them that the removal of the IG from office was an exclusive preserve of the president is a narrow approach to the interpretation of the Constitution.
The president should not be the one to appoint and hire and fire the IG. That's why IG is taken to the National Assembly for vetting.
The final report of the findings of this investigation is set to be released soon, capturing the depth of human rights violations committed during the anti-government protests, with LSK, Amnesty International, together with the Kenya Medical Association, vowing to stop at nothing until victims of police brutality get justice. Safin Achieng Ouma, Citizen TV.